A fair amount of negative news in terms of the global market movement when we came into trade today. You had the tech-heavy Nasdaq succumb to quite a bit of selling pressure, with the tech-heavy FANG stocks, they actually collapsing in trade overnight. Asia as well started off on a weak footing, with Japanese Nikkei closing in with heavy losses of about almost 3%. In trade today, now at its lowest level since February earlier this year. That said, you'd have to say that India markets actually showed a fair amount of resilience. As opposed to the fall in our global peers, we fell a lot less. We were down less than 1% throughout today's trading session. That opening gap didn't quite get sold into, or for that matter, even bought into. We stood by and stood stuck with a loss of about 0.7 to about 0.8% throughout today's trading session, closing in at 14,874 on the Nifty futures. It was quite intriguing what was happening in trade today. Well, the globally linked metal sector was actually a downtick today and an underperformer. So everything from a SAIL to a Hindalco to a JSW Steel's Jindal Steel, these were all big laggards. Tata Steel continued its show of resilience, and that stock at the high point of the day was still giving you gains of about almost 3%, closing in finally a little over 1% in the green. PSUs, that continues to be the darling theme of the markets. Most analysts that we've been speaking with still remain circumspect on whether or not this is just a trading bout, or is there merit in investing into these names right now. But everything from a BHEL, which saw a big breakout yesterday, followed through with a very smart uptick of another 11.5% in the futures today as well. You had a Coal India, which held out by about 6%. Concor futures were up 5.7%, and GAIL as well almost nudged the 5% gain mark. What was not working for the markets today were, like I said, the metals pack, and besides that, some of the other private sector names as well, or private banking names actually, which bore heavy on the markets today. So an HDFC, for instance, lost nearly about 3% today. Kotak Bank was down 2.6%. You had an HDFC Bank down 1.5%. Axis Bank as well was a loser, lost about almost 1.5%, and after that a Bajaj Finance and HDFC Life as well. So largely the financial universe is the one which weighed heavy on the markets in today's trading session. Remember, Thursday is the trading off, so you'll have weekly expiry come tomorrow. But the resilience in the market continues, and more so what's really happening within the small cap universe. As of yesterday itself, you had the small cap universe, or the small cap index rather, managed to clock a fresh 52-week high for itself, and most of the stocks are holding at their all-time highs, if not at their 52-week peaks. And even today, the broader market strength was actually commendable. Even at close, you had a good 75 stocks actually hold out to the advances, with just 82 to the declines. So largely indicative of a neck and neck, even Steven kind of market breadth. So it's really the broader markets that are seeing much more action as opposed to the benchmark indexes and outperforming.